Welcome to Booklandia, where we review romance novels.
This and every episode are chock full of oversharing and spoilers. Every episode is rated E for explicit.
Oh.
Wait. Okay, do it again.
Okay, hello. Oh, God. And welcome to Booklandia, a hot mess romance book podcast and video sometimes-ish thing.
Sometimes-ish.
I am Ford. That is Sky.
And you can't see it because I'm the one watching the monitor, but our names have lined up with our faces.
Oh my God. One thing has gone right today.
Yes. For those of you who have witnessed the previous episode, things...
If we let that see the light of day.
Things went off the rails.
And continue to do so. I know Mercury is not in retrograde for another month, but goddamn.
Yeah. Tiny planet, big reach.
You know, that's kind of apropos of the last book we read.
I know.
Oh my God.
So we're here today to talk about...
A Lady's Formula for Love by Elizabeth Everett.
Yes. As opposed to last week when we talked about A Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics.
Correct.
By Olivia Waite. So there's a lot of a lady's something to something.
I have, there's the Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem.
Yes.
So many, yes.
I have a feeling, this is an educated guess.
Oh.
That...
By all means, I'll take uneducated ones as well.
That in the before times of England, there were probably a lot of ladies' guides.
Right.
To, like, how to get a husband or how to embroider a handkerchief or... I don't know. Now I really don't know what I'm talking about.
I love that your educated guess went steeply uneducated, like really quickly.
I mean, those are probably the things that one puts into a written guide.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe.
But I assume somebody's done some research somewhere.
Yes. I'm very sure that is the case. Okay.
Once.
That one time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is the cover for a... Trust me when I tell you, I'm showing people the cover.
Excellent.
It's cute. It's cute. It's teal with some more teal.
I do love teal. Teal is my favorite color.
And,
my one issue from my memory of this book cover, because it's back there, is that he is neither walking nor standing.
Agreed. That is
what
actually...
What is this position?
This is exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. He is floating.
He's floating.
And he's kind of petite.
Oh.
And tall. And this man, by all descriptions, is neither of those things.
Right. Broad.
He's broad.
And muscular.
Muscular and not the tallest person, because there are some people who are taller than him, and this gets brought up multiple times.
Yeah.
So,
I would prefer this book cover if he was maybe in like a semi-lunge, like he's like
about to go get her.
Yeah, first scene where he tackles her to the ground because there's an explosion.
There's an explosion, indeed.
So I guess I'm pro on the teal.
Yes, good choice on the teal.
Yeah.
Agree.
How's the silhouette of the dress? I'd love testing you on this shit.
It's vague. How about this?
Excellent.
Excellent. Dear God. This noise is brought to you by electronics falling down.
Don't worry, you were not on mic at all for that, so no one will know. We've spent like 2 hours trying to fix these mics, everybody.
Which is why every comment about electronics is now either triggering or hilarious or both.
Triggeringly hilarious. There has to be some sort of German word for that.
Yes. If you know this word, please add us.
You know what? It can be in not German as well.
I mean, fair. So...
Why are you... Okay, we're going to touch everyone's electronics.
No, the reason I'm bringing out this electronic is because we're about to do the timer.
Oh, I see.
And we need to hear the timer, and these are the headphones
I see. I was just worried that you dropped them again.
Yes, that might happen as well. All right, I wrote this.
Okay, I'll read this.
Blurb, so would you like to read this blurb?
Absolutely.
All
you want to count me in?
In 3, 2, 1.
Violet is a widowed scientist and the founder of a club in which women scientists can... science in secret. She is in mortal danger as she is trying to develop a counteragent to a deadly gas being used by rioters trying to bring down the crown. In comes Arthur, her bodyguard, and sexual fantasy come to life. They both want each other, but will old mistakes and societal pressures keep them apart? The answer is no, because this is a romance novel.
Yeah, you have so much. Look, you
So
can hear
much
the
time.
ticking. You can hear
So
the ticking.
much. I win. This book came out in 2021, which is crazy because there's 3 in this series now.
Yes,
Which means in the last 2 years,
all 3 has come out.
all 3 books have come out.
She might have already written them, and this is just the publication schedule.
Yeah. Look, your logic is not welcome in this chaos episode.
This is quite chaotic. I agree. Okay, so the story here is that she's independently wealthy because
She's a widow.
she's a widow, and she fell in love with a man who fell in love with her brain, and then turns out he didn't fall in love with her brain.
No, he just wanted to control something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing that happened out of that marriage is she's now wealthy.
Yeah.
And she has a stepson who is vaguely her age, and they're kind of like brother sisterly.
Because her husband was much older than her.
I think
She was the third wife?
Yes, because there's a mention of the second wife.
Yeah.
I
I think the second best thing that happened to her in her marriage is that he died.
mean, yes.
Yeah.
Also that.
Yeah.
But
Because it sounds like I got the impression that he was psychologically or emotionally abusive or withholding, which is abuse
Yes.
in its own.
I mean, yeah, I think withholding is probably the accurate term.
Mhm.
He convinced her that her sexual needs weren't valid,
normal.
normal,
Right.
and-
Appropriate.
yes, and he convinced her that her interest in science was also not valid or normal or appropriate.
Yeah.
So all the things a man does.
2 thumbs down.
But it means that there wasn't a virginal sexual encounter
Right.
that we got to
Right.
witness.
Right.
It was still like, this is the best I've ever had situation.
Right. And it was very sort of like innocently pure in some ways, where she like she was like, "Can I even touch you?" And like
yes.
there was just like
Yes. Oh, and I feel like maybe that more
she was in her head.
Yeah, it came from someone
Mm-hmm.
once told her that you aren't supposed to make noise or touch other people.
Yeah. Just
During
lay
sex.
there
Just
and
lay there and don't make noise.
How about this noise?
I'm sure it's gonna come across real well in sound only.
Yes.
Just some of that.
Excellent.
All right. So the since we're on the plot,
Yeah.
the thing that kind of didn't work for me. Like, I thought the entire book was really jovial, and you used the word later in because I read later that it's campy, and it is like, it's lovely and campy, and it's like it's got an adventurous spirit, and I very much enjoyed that. But I did not understand how high the stakes were, because all of the really scary things that happen sort of happen to other people. Like the person dying from the gas. They've mentioned for sure, but they're not a person we know. And then, yes, there's a flying chair in the very first explosion, but all of it seems like they just brush it off, and they were like, "Oh, it's fine. This like happens to us all the time."
Yeah.
And so when we got to the climax, I was like, "Oh, like this is way scarier for them than I've been led to believe."
Yes. You're correct. And there was one point somewhere after the halfway point. Oh, hello, knee.
Now we're so much
gently
closer.
Caress your knee. Sky, I've been meaning to tell you. Somewhere after the halfway point in this book. Look how red you're getting.
What are you even doing?
I don't know.
But yes,
Excellent.
Please continue.
They overly mention that a man has died. I
Yes.
feel like in one chapter they mention it like 3 times.
Yes,
A
they
man
did.
has died.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. But then also there are giant tarantulas loose in the house.
Right,
And they're trying not
exactly.
to like have people look at them.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big deal. And they're like, it happens all the time. And then like at one point, one of them paints her hair pink accidentally.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, that's not a big deal. And
Pink
so like,
and then the helmet.
and then the helmet
The
hair.
hairspray helmet.
Yes. And so then it's like, oh, there's an explosion and a chair flew out of a window is no big deal. And the same is true of like
There's a break-in, but he got away.
right, or like there's a fire, but it's in this flammables cabinet and we're prepared for it and here's the sand bucket for it.
Yeah.
So all of it seems more ordinary or more commonplace than I think it was meant to be. And so by the time we got to the end, I was like, oh, this just got way more serious and I wasn't ready for it.
I'm
a
so
little
sorry.
bit. Well, no, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't traumatic. I was just like, oh, we're serious now.
Yeah, I think
So-
I'm sorry because I enjoyed this book, but I think it was because it wasn't serious.
Ah, yes.
And because it was just like that tone of like light camp and like a little bit of here's an action point. Okay, let's sink back into like fuzzy lovely land.
Perfect.
I think so. In doing this book, reading this book right after we read Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics, Rosie the Riveter, that if these two books were mashed together, we'd be closer to the perfect period romance women in STEM book, inching ever closer.
True. I mean, they mention like glycerin, and then they like don't, and then like they mention gunpowder, and you're just supposed to be smart enough to know that they're all making explosives.
Yeah, I was smart enough to know that. Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you. I was smart enough to know.
It's all the science you get.
Yeah. And so that's my thing. I wanted more science. I wanted as much science as Celestial Mechanics had, and I wanted Celestial Mechanics to have like action and plot points and
Yes.
structure and something fun.
Yes. Fun would be good.
Right. So more fun for that book and a little bit more science in this book.
Yeah.
Because like she's a chemist and she's making this counter serum and that's kind of all we know.
And we're never in like we know that she's writing this formula and she loses track of time, but we don't know what she's writing.
Right. Yes.
Is it because the author isn't a chemist and so didn't want to
I suppose.
write wrong things?
Right. Exactly.
I can see that.
So yeah, it's still better. A step in the right direction away from Celestial Mechanics.
I agree. I like this one better than the other one. Yes.
Yeah.
And I do think it's because this one is like not taking itself too seriously.
Yes.
It's just like fun stuff happens. Also, tarantulas are our friends. Except some of them might
don't
be
look over there.
Yeah.
Don't look over here.
This is a dust bunny. This is my favorite.
Absolutely.
This is a dust bunny. It was like it's a big dust bunny.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna spoiler the whole thing. The bad guy in this book is it's a woman and a woman and a man. I choose to believe that it's the woman all along because I am really intrigued by women who are the bad guys. And I feel like when I see a woman as a bad guy, I'm like, yes, finally, equality. Like feminism is working.
in bad guy terms.
Right. Well, isn't that that's the thing? Like women are no longer being oppressed by men. They're being oppressed by other women. Like, finally, women are strong enough to be the bad guys.
Excellent. Well, and this particular bad guy, she is the bad guy because she was oppressed.
Yes.
And this is a case of bad guys are sad guys.
Oh, bad guys are sad guys.
Because she just needed to not be in the situation that she was in or to have a different exit out of the abusive situation that she was in. And instead, this was her way.
Right. She acted out.
Yes.
And perpetuating a continuation of trauma, which I feel like, didn't they bring that up? They're like, you're just making it worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but that's okay. You can make amends.
Yes.
No capital punishment for you.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean,
so that's where we really lose the like, equality thing. Because
Yes.
if she was a man, they're like it would.
Well,
be
no,
really
because
bad.
her accomplice,
Mhm.
they also ship him off. So they ship her off to America, and they ship him off to Australia.
Yes, but Australia at this time is a prison.
Is a prison colony. Yes,
Yes,
I know. There's a really good play about this.
Oh, which one?
It's called Our Country's Good,
Oh, okay.
and it is about Australia as the. How did we divert here? Australia
yeah.
as the prison colony.
I
and-
have not diverted. We are still on my road because America, not a prison.
Not a prison.
In fact, kind of fun. Full of bears.
I'm not sure that this is a person who wants bears.
Well, bears don't want her.
Oh, there we go. Bears don't want her back.
Exactly. So I guess I am starting to see a turn in media, in stories where women are the bad guys. This is it's not a non sequitur, but like Finn was just watching Shazam 2.
Okay.
And it's Helen Mirren is the big bad guy. And then it's Lucy Liu and some third actress, and they make up the trio of bad guys.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
so like that I don't know, it really fulfills me. And
Excellent.
I don't like, does it not fulfill you?
No, I think it's great. And you're right. We don't see women as the ultimate villain frequently. And so it's an interesting, like maybe surprising turn. And this one I think was trying to be like, surprise, this is the big reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think and the additional betrayal of the bad person, woman, being one of her closest friends and co-owners kind of
the co-founders.
Co-founder of this secret science club
Yes.
retreat. Athena's retreat.
Athena's Retreat is
Yeah.
the name of the club, which is complicated, if you ask me.
You know what? I am.
Asking.
Please expound.
Well, so, and I think this is semantics, modern semantics, no less. But Athena's Retreat sounds like a place in the country where you go to be studying things and warrioring. Oh my God, there's a word there. You go to be Athena's, I suppose, who was the goddess of not just war, but also wisdom. So
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. Like Athena's club, Athena's sanctuary, maybe. I don't know. Something about the word retreat.
Athena's temple.
Oh, I think that one of those is in Greece, but
Right, and then it's vaguely religious. Yeah, I mean, it made sense to me because for me, reading a lot of Percy Jackson, Athena is the goddess of wisdom first.
yes.
And yes, she is a warrior, but wisdom first. And it kind of makes sense that these women are also sort of strong, and it's why our main character continuously like brushes off these traumatic events, is like she just has a lot of fortitude. So it seems it seemed like an on-point name
All right.
for me.
I did like the
Name a better one.
but I'm not the author.
Oh, okay. Great.
I'm just a Judgy McJudgerson.
Oh, judge.
I did like very much that Violet was very reasonable. Like there was not a lot of histrionics. There was not a lot of like, oh my, oh no. It was a whole lot of like, great, this happened. Now let's move on to the next thing that needs to happen.
I've got sciencing to do.
I got sciencing to do, exactly.
But I won't tell you exactly what kind of sciencing.
Yes.
It's chemistry.
It's some sort of chemistry
Yeah.
with gases.
Mm.
Because it's a counter gas
Yes.
that she's making.
Yes.
So yeah, okay, so in terms of characters.
Yes.
I feel like this is an important point to bring up. Maybe it's an important point to me that one of our characters, one of the side characters, Henry, who is the footman,
Head footman?
a person who spends a lot of time in the presence of Violet,
Main foot person?
main foot person. So he spends a lot of time in Violet's presence as one of her servants, and he is trans, and we learn that early on, and it's awesome. that we learned it, that like this is not a big surprise
Right.
to any of the main characters.
Yeah.
But then we also learned that the other bad guy,
Yes.
the
co-conspirator.
the co-conspirator to Phoebe, is Henry's brother.
Yeah.
And a transphobe, in addition to being an all-around bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest complaint about this book, and I told you earlier, is that at the end of the book, Alex, right? That's the brother's name.
I don't remember.
Sure. So he gets to tell his side of wanting to
Winters. I think Alex is right.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So Alex gets to tell his transphobic bullshit, right, on the page.
Mm-hmm.
But then we never get Henry's doing just fine without his awful brother. Thanks for double checking. Like, we see Henry one more time after Alex's final declaration, and it's for like 3 seconds, and it's like, and then Henry brought boiled lemon drops, which, by the way, is the worst candy I could think of on the planet.
Yeah, for me, I think Henry's arc happens before Winters' final declaration, and like because they have a meetup, and afterwards Violet checks in with Henry, and he's like, I'm fine. This is good. This is fine. I wish it didn't happen but like, I'm fine. And then we get, but my blood, and like Winters gets to, have the last say. And I get that sucks, but I was never really worried about Henry.
I see. I mean, I'm not worried. Henry seems perfectly
happy.
Yes. Happy working with Violet.
Learning to flip people over.
I know. That's my favorite. Like, that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted an epilogue in which Arthur teaches Henry how to flip people over.
Yeah.
Because that seemed like a cute that could have existed.
Yeah. Sort of parental son situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been really lovely.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on characters I wish I saw. Like, I needed an epilogue just for Henry.
Can we get like just a short story?
Right.
Because I had to look ahead when you brought it up. And Henry is not the main character of the other 2 books. Nope. Which is a slow teardrop rolling down our faces.
Could have been great. Could have been
so
great.
Good. Maybe Alexis Hall will write that one for us.
Perfect.
I stand. I want to go back just briefly and talk about the trope of a ladies' club.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, we have the science club. Theirs. That was some accent, y'all. The Sarah McLean Hells Bells. They're an unofficial sort of ladies' club.
Yes, and then there's an official ladies' club.
Mm-hmm.
In the Rogues and the and the Scandals and the Scoundrels.
Yes. They build a ladies' club within the men's club, like the secret.
Right. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's in the Rogues.
Yes.
Nope. It's in the Bastards, because she's the fourth. It's the fourth. She's one of the bastards.
Oh, you're thinking of that. I was thinking of the earlier ladies' club.
Anyways, the point I think here is that there are a lot of ladies' clubs.
Yeah, Sarah McLean has written 3 that we can not name in this moment. The Manda Collins series, A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem, like those 2 women write a column about, how to survive as a woman, and that becomes like a salon series. Mm-hmm. So I would like for us to talk a little bit about why the importance of a ladies' club. And I mean, it feels fairly obvious, and maybe I'm just trying to dredge up some talking points here, but like, in a society where women weren't allowed to have community on their own, without supervision, without chaperones. Like,
I'm sorry, are you talking about 2023? Because I think a ladies' club or like a club, a safe space. Mm-hmm. Ooh, a safe space for women and female identified people together and to discuss openly without someone mansplaining things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're still there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that societally we are still telling women that they do not deserve a village, that we don't deserve
Community.
or need community,
Mhm.
and that each one of us can exist entirely as an island in support
Right.
of a heteronormative relationship.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think because if you think back even further when we were a system of tribe people, like generally the women folk spent most of their day together, women and female identifying, like doing what they did. The men would go off and hunt and gather, whatever. And so like the fact that we have gone away from that and now it's now an abhorrent thing.
Yes. How dare we?
How dare we? I was thinking about, you know, like a 15-year career in theater, and I can count on less than one hand the number of female-only spaces I was in professionally, female-only shows, and how rare that is, and how special it was to experience it, and how much I cherish those.
Yeah, I think we are still collectively very worried about what a gaggle of ladies can come up with.
I'm so sorry, I believe you mean a coven of witches.
There we go. Can come up with. I mean, I feel like that's really accurate, right?
That's the fear.
The fear is, what if we decide that we don't need them at all?
Am I whispering too softly? We don't.
I mean, we might need them for
we
some
like
things.
To have them around.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's not even about that. It's about still refusing to let females have power
and take control.
And yes, and the power of space.
Right.
It goes all the way back to pockets.
It goes all the way back to pockets. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, when there's a community, right, then people can be caregivers for each other. There could be collective knowledge being passed around. There can be something as small as, like, recipes or remedies, and something as big as, like, if someone needs physical or emotional support, there's a person in their corner who can do that. And that isn't to say that that community couldn't also have men in it, but it is to say that we exist in a society where no, we could not have men in it, because men have been taught that they hold the power, and women have been taught that they have to ask permission for power and not take our own space. And so, yeah, ladies' salons would still be an excellent choice.
I stand. Let's do it. More salons within salons?
I mean, no, salons have always been women's spaces. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like hair salons. No, I'm with you.
It's a double entendre.
It's an entendre with a double.
Yes, thank you. I made it a double.
Excellent. On that note, let's make it a double.
Let's make it a double.
Maybe not.
Ooh, more technical difficulty.
Technical difficulty.
Tell me more.
I can't go to.
I'll just keep licking the banner.
There you go. Well, this has been our mid-show break.
Oh,
without the mid-show graphic. Our mid-show graphic is broken.
Oh, well, that tracks.
Yes, on par with everything else today.
I feel like an apology parade sound effect would be accurate right here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy an apology parade.
Oh my god.
Because I guess that's the window I closed unintentionally.
Oh, excellent. Well, we're back. I just had a double. Please excuse me. Thought we were having an actual break.
Sorry.
No. I'm just joking. We are talking about A Lady's Formula for Love by Elizabeth Everett. The fireworks are still happening, even though it's July 5th at time of recording, because my neighborhood
went to places where they can buy mortars.
Yes.
Yes.
Just quarter sticks of dynamite.
Excellent.
And it's getting dark, so it's about to pop off.
Great. We are definitely gonna.
We're just gonna squeeze right in.
Yeah. is what she said.
Yes.
Is this an appropriate time for that's what she said?
It's always an appropriate time at
Excellent.
Booklandia for That's What She Said.
All right. Let's talk about compelling moments in the show.
Yes, in the show.
In the show.
Excellent. You mean in this book?
I totally mean in this book.
Excellent.
What is even happening with my brain?
Are you getting more drunk?
No.
Okay, well,
It's just your really intense stare. That's what's happening. And the touching.
told you. I flustered you. Oh my god.
And the touching.
Okay. You guys were just going to flirt through the rest of this episode. Okay, so the most compelling and favorite moment of the book, I think, are the campy moments. One of the lady scientists is studying tarantulas. All the tarantulas get loose.
All the tarantulas get loose.
And then they just keep showing up in random scenes 30% later into the book.
Actually, that was such a cute moment.
Yeah.
Where like
A lovely
I
little
thought we
callback.
already
Yeah.
did the tarantula bit,
Nope.
and then all of a sudden there's one more tarantula.
Absolutely. The ladies can't lock the door to their secret laboratories because they lose the key, and the solutions they come up with as preventative measures, ridiculous. There is it's not a trebuchet, but
It's a mace.
it's a mace that swings down every time the door is opened.
Yes.
And the ladies just know to duck, and everyone else would get poked
In the face.
poked in the body, in the whole being.
In the whole being. And just
like,
propelled back out onto the street.
and we talked about the pink hair, and we talked about the hairspray helmet. Like, there's just so many like quirky things. And if you've listened to this podcast or at all, you know I love a quirk. I'm obsessed with a quirk. So that was it for me. It was all the like little moments.
Yes. So my favorite moment, and there are a lot of these in this one, where she struggles with her corset or her dress, or like, and she's constantly like, why is fashion dumb? Because I mean, why is it, particularly in this time period? And so I think my favorite moment is when he comes in to her room to leave her a present before skulking away, and he hears her from the dressing chamber being like, I'm stuck, someone come help me. And then he has like, and so it does not start as a sexy adventure, because she's like, I am stuck in my corset and I cannot move, and I need to be released from this prison. And that to me was a really, really funny beginning of a scene. And then the rest of this scene is really genuine and kind of wonderful, but it just starts on such a good, funny moment. Yes, I really enjoy that. And there was like one turn of phrase that was really hilarious, and I really wanted to stop and like make a note of it, but the rest of it was really good, so I just kept listening. Did not go back for the good sentence.
Any inkling of what that excellent turn of phrase was?
It was something Arthur said, and it was about someone. And it was like an underhanded compliment that wasn't a compliment at all. And it was just like, oh, this is a good one.
Probably about, was it Grantham, who was his rival for Violet's affection?
Yes, it most likely was. Oh yeah, it was when the two of them were fighting in the library, and then they're like, I lost something under the couch, and then they like try to dust each other off, but they're actually still trying to smack each other. It was just such a childish thing.
Bro-y moment.
Totally. It was very much like the Colin Firth and
Hugh
Grant fighting in Bridget Jones. Bridget Jones. And they're like just smacking each other, but they don't know how to do
kicks.
it. Yes.
Now Arthur would know how to land a punch, but
this
not in a living room.
Right. And they mentioned that Grantham was also a soldier at one point, so they do both know how to fight. But they are just ridiculous in this tiny space, and it like that felt really, really funny. And they're trying to pretend that they're not fighting. I did also love that Grantham started out as kind of a dick. And kind of in the way. And I was wondering where that was headed, and then he turned out lovely. Like at some point he was like, oh, I get to smack you about and remind you that like he's the character that exists in every Sarah McLean novel.
Sure.
Who like comes up to the brooding hero and goes, "You idiot!
Stop being a dum-dum.
Stop being a dum-dum. Go be in love."
Yeah.
And that's what Grantham ends up being in this, and he's lovely.
Yeah, which is really great because he's the love interest in book 2.
Yeah, he gets a thing.
He gets a love interest
and
a thing.
And a thing. He gets a thing.
So what was your hot take on this book? Like, just let's go overall.
So I've listened to this book or read this book over the course of today.
Oh, one and done.
One and done.
Keep it fresh.
So it is a very quick romp through London society.
Mm-hmm.
It's super fun. I would 100% watch this as a movie.
Yes.
Like I want it to be all the ridiculous that it is. Yeah, like light and fluffy and funny with like a touch of danger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Excellent. I agree. I think my we haven't even talked about how Arthur is Scottish.
Yes.
So for all of you Brogue fans out there,
yes.
Brogue fans out there, you can come to the audiobook.
For sure. And yeah, the audiobook narrator does do the brogue.
Excellent.
Yes.
So good. For me, I think my one complaint is that it is a book about a woman having her allosexual awakening, and it's very much she's realizing how horny she is all the time, which is great in a romance novel. I was just like, oh, this is very allosexual forward. Like, it was very sort of in my face, it felt like.
Yes, I did love so there's an entire section on contraception.
Yes.
There's an entire scene
on period, on historical.
On sea sponge contraception.
Yeah.
Which, yes. And I feel like there've definitely been other books that have mentioned it or mentioned contraception in a historical. But this is the first time that I've read the actual, like, and now
I'm just gonna slip it in.
Yes.
Just boop, boop, boop.
That's kind of, I assume, how it works.
Yeah.
Yes. Think diaphragm, but spongier.
Yes, and less
flexible.
Reliable?
Yeah, reliable.
Now,
LCS.
I was reading that, and she soaked her sponge in something, and she said, I'm not soaking it in this, was it vinegar? Was
right.
the other option?
Yes.
And it made me think, didn't at one point, and you probably don't know because we don't do research, maybe you do know, they soaked them in formaldehyde?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yes. Yes.
And yet tampons still give people toxic shock.
I was going to say, what's toxic shock syndrome when there's formaldehyde sponge going on?
Formaldehyde sponge is my punk band name. Let's go.
That's a mouthful.
Excellent. Did this book make you want to get naked today?
No. But it was quite spicy.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes it Vaseline.
Yes.
And it was really weird because it would be really explicit and then it would suddenly not be explicit. And I'm like, no, we
could do that.
We discussed quite in depth so the first time she says labial folds, I was like, oh, I thought we were like calling it her entrance.
Oh.
Or like whatever. It was very poetic.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was very scientific. And then it was poetic again. And then at one point it's fine. It's like suddenly his cock. And I was like, oh, I thought we weren't going to use rude language.
No.
But okay. I mean, that's fine. It was just like the tone was weirdly there and not there.
I agree. My take is that I got like medium. I kind of almost wanted to get like it's a medium sexy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were hints of kink.
I know,
and then it never delivered.
Yeah, and that like
you can't kink deny me.
It was like 4 sentences that were really good.
Yeah,
and I was like, this might be really interesting.
Yeah,
and then we never went back for that.
We never went all the way with the kink, and you know how I feel about not going all the way. In a book
with the kink.
Yes, like it just don't tease me, and don't deliver in a romance novel. Like, I guess I would rather the erotica version of this book.
Yes. I mean, there is quite a bit of sex, but
Yeah.
more, please.
Explicit.
More
please.
expliciter, please.
Exactly.
Yes.
I still liked it. I think I'm going to read the others.
I think so too, but I don't think I need to immediately.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, for sure. I want to know what happens to Grantham and to whoever's whoever's the third book about, which we looked up.
Lydia. I want to say Twimbly, but that is extremely wrong.
No, but yeah, I'm interested in them, but I'm not interested in them tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like there are certain books that I'm like, I immediately need to know.
Sure.
And this one I was like, oh, that's nice. Like when I need another nice, I'll go back for this.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. What are you going to read next? What are you must-having?
So I'm a little bit torn because I sort of have my pick of new novels. I have new Ashley Poston waiting, which is called The 7-Year Slip. I don't even know what it's about. I literally put it on my...
It's about a slip she bought 7 years ago to go under a very specific dress, but it didn't actually work. It was the wrong length, and she was just too busy to get it hemmed.
Wow, this is not at all the case, but that was well delivered.
Thank you.
So I literally put that on my TBR, knowing that it's Ashley Poston and knowing how much I like the Dead Romantics without even looking at the blurb. So who knows what it's about, but I bet it's great. And then I also have Rachel Lynn Solomon's new adult novel, which is called For Business or Pleasure. And again, I know what the cover looks like, but it said Rachel Lynn Solomon, and so I put it on my TBR. Yeah. And then I think Knockout is about to come out. Yeah. So I'm about to have to decide if I'm reading Knockout. And then I also have Fourth Wing, which
everybody's talking
about. So I have a lot of really like hot off the press things in my library shelf. Also, do go to your libraries, please. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably Business or Pleasure, because we book club wise, our book club has.
I think everybody has it.
Everybody has it. Yeah. So maybe Rachel Lynn Solomon, and then Ashley Poston, and then whatever comes next.
Excellent. So Business or Pleasure, Rachel Lynn Solomon is my next read. I also have, not in the non-romance category, Witch King by Martha Wells. Martha Wells, the author of the book series I'll never stop talking about, Murderbot. So I'm excited to see something not Murderbot, and I am emotionally prepared for something different, but I don't know how I'll feel about it. Just need more Murderbot in my life. And yeah, that's sort of my next sitch. I just finished. Oh God, what did I just read yesterday? Mortal Follies by Alexis Hall.
Yes,
which is delightful.
I'm very excited for when it is my
good.
turn to read Mortal Follies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Oh, Paris Delacourt. At some point we're going to read. Yeah. So many books in our future, possibly.
I don't think we're going to run out anytime soon.
Not if you have a library card, you don't.
That's absolutely true. When you check out Business or Pleasure, it's like a 1 week. So you really have to commit to the time because so many people want it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or I gotta skip the line or something. And
if you skip the line, you only get a week, and if you are next on the list, you get.
We need to wrap it up. I've got to go read.
Copy that.
I'm just kidding.
And on that note,
bye.
No, more technical difficulties for us to be had.
Bing, 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 ding, ding. Thank you for Booklandia. We out.